What is going on YouTube? Welcome to my channel. My name is Robert Jacob. I am the co-founder and CEO of Sleepover Inc. The company has a $95 million pre-money valuation, and we achieved this mark in a short amount of time in just 4 years. And I'm excited to share the story of my path and my process on how I got here. Most importantly, I'm excited to open up this topic of discussion on YouTube because more people should be sharing their side of the story when it comes to these types of monumental versions of success. Most people at the top, they don't want to talk about what they did to get there and how they made all their money. But guys, to go back a couple years, I started documenting my process on YouTube of me making money with one rental arbitrage unit. And that decision to start documenting this process is what changed my life forever and what led me to be in the seat that I'm in today. A little bit of backstory about me. I am the son of 2 Romanian immigrants. They came to this country with nothing besides paperwork and a dream to have a better life, escaping communist Romania. This was back when Romania was under a communist regime and people were being starved. Things were not looking too good. So they went out and escaped that so that their kids could have a better future. There's no better way to put it here other than I'm doing what I can here and doing the most that I can with my time as a US citizen to ensure that they know they made the right decision and they took that risk to get here. And this is a very great story about, the background. So I'm not coming from Ivy League money. I'm not coming from old money. I'm not coming from some type of, high society that you'd expect this typical story to come from. This is a story of an ambitious kid from the bottom who made his dreams happen, and I'm excited to share it with you. So to really understand my position, let's go back to 2019. It was September 2019. In Costa Rica with my beautiful wife. We were living the digital nomad lifestyle at the time. In order for me to experience this life, it was hard work and it was focusing on side hustles, which was having that one rental arbitrage lease and having the YouTube channel and the content being produced. The reason I bring up the digital nomad lifestyle is because I had to live through that to realize on that trip in Costa Rica that I wanted more out of life. And I had to really expand on my vision and my ambitions in life, because simply making some passive income and kicking it by the beach was not enough to fulfill me. I learned this lesson very early on because most people will get to the end of life and they'll never have figured this lesson out. But I was wise enough to be in a position where I was sitting on the beach. I had everything I'd ever wanted, money coming in to my bank account. I was sitting in Costa Rica, no worries in the world. And then it dawned on me that there was more to life than just to exist like that. So what this helped me do was find my passion and my purpose. And that's what it all builds up to. Is on that trip, I wrote down what I wanted out of my life. And then I wrote down in that sequence of things that I wanted out of life, I wrote down one specific thing that said, I want to IPO a company. I get back to the US and I start digging up information on IPOs. I started looking at how companies are structured, that type of thing. So I was just doing some research online with information that each and every single one of you have access to right now. So I started digging and I ended up coming across a video called How Startup Funding Works. And I'll link that video up above so that you guys can go save it to watch later. Obviously don't watch it now, keep watching this. But yeah, go ahead and watch that video because it changed my life and it put me in a position that accelerated everything that I wanted to accomplish simply by taking a very animated video and putting actionable steps behind it. So I will give a lot of credit to that video because it really opened up the door for understanding the possibilities of what can happen if you do everything correctly from the beginning. But that video did not prepare me for the actual treachery and blood, sweat, and tears required to make the reality of things happen. But the video really helped me understand the startup ecosystem and that this world existed. The information contained in that video is truly specific and it's crucial, critical information that will benefit you if you can take action on it. During my phase of self-development and studying how corporations work, I was building my character up, and I truly believe that by me being in this headspace and by me, being on this frequency of self-development and character improvement, that all benefited me to the point where, it was part of my identity. I was identifying with this information. I will say that this was possible by me, aligning the vision and then also committing to what I was already doing at the time. I was operating that short-term rental, so I decided to scale up and go from there because I'd already done it. I'd already put in a year of time in that sector, in that industry. That was really one of the biggest drivers for me to go ahead and commit with the short-term rental industry for my first IPO. All of this led to a meeting with an investment banker in LA. I was making content online at the time and just posting about my day-to-day in the business, posting about what I was doing and how to make extra money. The YouTube channel opened a door for me to actually have social proof and credibility to meet up with a vice president of an investment bank. Everything that I was doing to prepare for this, this corporate endeavor that I was going to go on led me to have this connection in this meeting, which worked out to my advantage. I flew out to LA. The setting is Pete's Coffee in Beverly Hills, and I get there 4 hours early. I'm Ubering over there, and the Uber driver asked me, he's like, what do you got going on today? And I told him, I was like, straight up, like, I'm pitching my idea to an investment banker. And he was like, that's actually crazy. He's like, good luck with that. And, the rest of it played out accordingly. I get there, I prepared. And I will say that I had a proof of concept, and I had a model that I had built out that I showed, and I didn't just go empty-handed. So that's a very important piece of the puzzle here in the story, is that if I had not been prepared and I had not been prepping for some time before meeting this guy, then that meeting could have gone south, and he could have said, go home, kid. It's like, you don't know what you're doing. But I instead brought a very comprehensive breakdown of my historical performance, and I was able to present that in a way that built trust and showed that there was a light at the end of what I was saying. The meeting went really well, and we shook hands and we started to do business. And from there, it was a matter of getting the paperwork ready and doing all the legal preparation in order to set up a C corporation. So we filed in the state of Delaware. As you do more research, you'll find out why the state of Delaware is advantageous for corporations. So we filed the paperwork, and that's it. The company is formed. It's just a piece of paper, but I'm an equitable shareholder in this company. And now all that's left to do is go implement the action and the systems that are required to grow a company. As soon as we can, we start initiating the scaling process. We go out, and this was just a lot of work on my end. I was a grunt worker, for lack of better words. So it was my idea. I had the money, and it was just up to me to go out and make this happen. So I went out and I started by cold calling, and I started by executing and making a to-do list each and every single day. I will say that without the to-do list, none of this would have been possible. You have to make the list, do the list, and win. And once you do that, you just repeat that same step over and over again to truly push the needle forward. Because each and every day you should have a list of critical tasks that you do that'll progress your business and progress your company. And I promise you that without these things, things would have moved a lot slower. We would not have been as organized. So this is a crucial part of all of this, is being able to take action. That list, what it really does is it's a direction for action. We have the company formed, and everything is hitting the ground running. First 3 months of the company are great, stellar. We launched some apartments, everything's going well, but then we're faced with the COVID lockdowns. Being faced with such an immense shift in society and just everything, all while trying to build a company at the same time, it was definitely extremely challenging. But I will say that I learned a lot about myself and my ability to navigate certain situations, and it taught me that we can be nimble. We don't have to continue down the same path. We can have a strategic advantage to us, is that we're small, we're just getting started, and we're able to operate with certain insight that was not previously there for the operators and other people in the sector who were operating before me. And I will say that during this time, a very large corporate housing operator and a very large hospitality company went out of business because they were too scared to handle the pressure, or they just mismanaged the funds, whatever it was. It was a very hard time to go through all that experience, but it was part of the character development that happened every step along the way. We achieved the majority of our growth by reinvesting and being extremely prudent with our spending. We are a bootstrapped company to this day, so there was not advisors on board. There was not all this, consultants and all kinds of noise that you'd get with other typical startups. And we were actually growing at a sustainable and profitable growth rate. So our growth model is profitable to this day. We were able to scale with a 24% EBITDA, which I think is rare in any terms for a company to grow with profitability. So that pretty much sums up the past 4 years in a nutshell for all of you. We did receive a $95 million pre-money valuation from a third party looking at various pieces of information. The private equity industry and the venture capital industry use valuations to determine the value of a company. And these are calculated in various ways. So when I say that my business is worth $95 million, I have got a third-party audit on this, and they're measuring a couple things. They're measuring the multiple in the sector, they're measuring the vertical and the ability for growth, and then also measuring the team. So there's a whole lot being compiled here to determine this valuation. But I will say, based off of our performance up to date and based off of where we're at in the marketplace now, thriving and alive while others are struggling and hurting and on the way down, it has proven out that our model is truly something that we are grateful to have doubled down on. You know, we're here now and we're really observing the scene, but it puts us in a spot where we're looking to raise our Series A funding round. And if you don't know what this is just an example of how the startup ecosystem works. You know, startups go from pre-seed, or actually to back that up, they'll go from an angel investor all the way to like Series E and then IPO and exit, or maybe just stay private, whatever the investors and the board of directors decides. But for the most part, you know, it's Series A through D. That's very standard. And if you do your research and learn more about this, and I will personally be talking more about this on my channel, but that's one thing that we're doing right now. We're actively pursuing our Series A round, and all we're asking for is $10 million for an exchange of equity in the company. But that's where we're at now, guys. I'm super grateful to be here, and I would not be here without you guys. I really mean that. Each and every one of you who subscribed to my channel and were a part of this from the beginning, you know, you guys allowed me to have a position and a vertical to go achieve my goals and dreams. I relaunched the STR Accelerator and I rebranded it as the STR Blueprint. And what I've done in this, I've included a corporate blueprint that has helped me get to where I'm at today. I just really packaged up the information that I've been able to achieve in the past 4 years, and I put it in a very comprehensive product. It will help the ambitious ones in the crowd go out and have a comprehensive tool that will help you move the needle forward in your business. The STR Blueprint also has a stack of other very useful products and leases and information that I use in my business each and every day. So the same principle, the same concept that I'm allowing you guys access to is what I used to get here, and it only took me 4 years. You guys, I really encourage you to go out and set the bar high for what you want to do in life. Be ambitious, be grateful, and be overly competitive to go out and make sure that you are dominating your reality. That's all I have for you today. If you're interested in being a part of the behemoth of the hospitality industry, go ahead and check that out down below. And I'm excited to make more content for you, and I'll see you in the next one.